prepare for a magic trick. Wait for it. 1. I'm Superman. Who would have thought that a mild-mannered reporter who just looks exactly like Superman and is wearing glasses would be Superman? That's just silly. It was always the weirdest thing about the DC universe. Anyway, Mortal Kombat versus DC universe. Now, as soon as I heard the idea, I'm thinking Ed Boon must be off his head if he thinks this is a good idea. I mean, who all of a sudden thinks, hey, I know who I want to fight Sub-Zero. I want Batman to fight Sub-Zero. Who says that? The thing is, they've managed to make it work. I have to concede that Ed Boon has made this work. And the way they've done it is the way they've always done it. In the Mortal Kombat series, it's always about Outworld mixing with Earthrealm, and that was why Mortal Kombat, because the winner would then get to dictate which side, They always had that. In this one, however, Shao Kahn gets knocked into a portal. I'm not spoiling anything, it's in the first cutscene. Shao Kahn gets knocked into a portal. And so he's put into his portal, and he begins to merge with the DC universe. So the two worlds begin to collide. So, Captain Marvel and Deathstroke and Batman and the Joker all find themselves mixing in with Scorpion and Sub-Zero and stuff. And there's actually a full-ranging story, and depending on which side you actually pick, it actually changes what happens. Like, you can see what's happened with other people. Like, you play as different people at different stages. You start as Liu Kang, then you go to Sonya, blah, blah, blah. But things have happened while you've done your fight and your cutscene that will happen when you play as the DC Universe characters, which is, they've done it really well. I tip my hat. They've managed to do it spectacularly. So I'm going to go down to some scores and give you an idea of just why I think it managed to work. The visuals on this aren't too bad. The problem is, and I think it's deliberate at this point, I have to assume it's deliberate, the animations are really choppy. Like, there's no flowing deaths. I mean, in Street Fighter, depending on how you die, you generally fall according to momentum, what was happening to you at the time, that kind of thing. But as per usual, Mortal Kombat does the old, you get hit and then you just fall backwards, and that's how you die. I think it's deliberate. I think they're doing it as a kind of homage to themselves, though it doesn't mean that the character models are particularly good either. A lot of it is recycled. A lot of the moves, a lot of even like the taunts and the stuff like that is recycled. So I can see they've tried to cut a few corners to bring down costs. Doesn't make it a bad game. It just means that it looks a bit off at times. So I'm going to give the visuals on this one a 6.5 out of 10. Now the sounds pretty good. The actual voice acting is not too bad. I'm quite surprised at just how well the voice acting turned out. Things like the different characters sound good. The voices they've got to play each character generally fit the person who's doing it. Except for Batman. Batman seemed a little bit off, but you can't win them all. It's one of those things that if you're a DC fan or a Marvel fan, you're gonna Marvel fan, a Mortal Kombat fan, you're gonna love it. However, anyone else is probably going to go a bit, DC, who cares? But I really think that the sound really sells it. So I give the sound on this one a 7.5 out of 10. Now the gameplay is where it will divide a lot of people. It's very simple compared to even like Deadly Alliance and stuff like that. It's toned down a little bit. The good thing is you don't get all the combos straight away, so you kind of have to make your own combos, which is always what I liked about the original Mortal Kombat, making your own combos and throwing it into a super and then comboing them again. So it's harkened back to a little bit of that. However, even some of the moves are recycled, like Batman throws a batarang and Joker throws a card, but it's the same move, and it's really noticeable. So it's as much as I've tried to vary out the gameplay, I've tried to make it different. You can tell they've recycled a fair bit. So I'm going to give the gameplay on this one a 7 out of 10. So all up, the game's going to probably score a 7. And I think it's fair. It's better than average. I was really expecting just an average or even a bad game. But it's better than average. I was really surprised. It's definitely worth the rent. But if you're a Marvel or DC fan, you're not even listening to me anyway. You've probably already bought it. So if you've always wanted to see how Superman can have his spine ripped out, now you get your chance to find out. Because I'd love to see that. I've never been a big DC guy, but it's always fun to watch Superman get what's coming to him, stupid alien bastard.